Hi, my awesome friends. We're starting a new series. I'm not quite sure how long we're going to be doing this collab, but would love to have all of you join in. The title and the hashtag for this is Sunday Dinner. You can cook anything you want. You can spend as much money as you want or as little as you want. Just put a wonderful meal together for you to spend with your family and sit down and have a wonderful meal. I'm going to be making this wonderful meal from a roast that I picked up from the grocery store this week. And I'm going to be using 2 cans of consomme and 2 cans of golden mushroom. I am using these 4 seasonings, and it's going to be the Italian seasoning, the garlic herb seasoning, and lemon pepper and garlic salt. And, of course, the roast I picked up. And this is going to be enough to make at least 3 meals. And we're going to start with the roasted for dinner. And this is the roast that I picked up and how much I spent. $25.27. It was $6.99 a pound. And this is going to make 3 meals. Yes, 3 meals. And I think I'm going to really enjoy this series. Anyone can join in. You can put any video up you want on Sunday. Just make sure hashtag Sunday meal. Now here is my 2 pieces of meat that I have. I'm putting them in my electric skillet. I'm going to brown them on both sides. I cooked this meat when I was browning it at 350 degrees. Once it's browned, I'm turning it down to 200 and let it slow cook. I'm going to brown one side, flip it over, and then I'm going to season it well, and then turn it back over and season the other side. So both sides are going to be seasoned, but I'm not seasoning it at all until I at least have 1/2 of it brown. You look at it every 7 or 8 minutes and see how it looks, how brown you want your meat to be. Once you're happy how it looks, then flip it over. And I hope you all enjoy what I put together for this Sunday dinner meal. Like I said, here I'm checking my meat about every 5 to 6 minutes and making sure it doesn't get too brown, but I want it to be a little brown and toasty. Once I'm happy how it looks, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to season it on both sides, as you can see, generously. Like I said, you can put as much seasonings on or as little seasoning, whatever you want. Keep in mind, the soup I'm using is going to have salt in it already, so don't oversalt your meat. I like testing it once I get it cooked if it needs more salt or not. And you can do whatever you want, but that's what I do. And this I'm going to slow cook at 200 degrees after I have it brown until it's falling off the bones, as I'm going to share with you in a few minutes. Now you can see I've heavily seasoned this, but once it's been cooked, it will be fine. I'm going to put 2 cans of consomme in first, and then I'm going to put the golden mushroom last, right on top of my meat. I am also going to put 4 cans of water also with this. And as you can see, the meat is almost covered now in liquid. And I'm going to turn this down to, like I said, 200 and let it just slow cook until it's done. For this meat, it was not too big, and it took about 2.5 hours for this meat at 200 degrees to be falling apart. But if your meat was bigger piece of meat, it might take another 2 or 3 hours. And if you wanted to have it cook even longer, then just turn it down a little bit more. Now, as you can see, my meat now is just falling apart. It's very good to do this. I already put the potatoes in to cook with this meat, but I put the potatoes in after about 1.5 hours of this meat cooking. And so the last hour, the potatoes were in there cooking. Normally, I would be throwing carrots and onions and stuff, but I am having my son and his wife over, and they don't like onions and stuff. So I made this a little more simple because of family members that don't eat onions. Now we're going to get ready to take this meat out of the pot. We're going to slice up our meat how I want for each plate. And whatever meat I have left or any potatoes I have left, I'll put it back in the liquid and let it stay warm so the meat doesn't dry out. And I'm going to also get some frozen vegetables to be cooked on the side, and we're going to have some bread with some butter because we're trying to economize to a certain point because I spent so much on the meat. But like I said, this meat is just going to fall off and be so tender and juicy. Here it is, all plated up. I have my small potatoes here with my meat cut and my mixed vegetables and a piece of buttered bread. And as you can see, it looks very good. It's very tasty. And those potatoes are so, so yummy. Everyone enjoyed it. And when I ate that meat, it was so, so good. And so were those little tiny miniature potatoes. They are just wonderful. And I made about a pound of potatoes to go with this meat also. Browning a little bit of these mushrooms and a little bit of butter really does help a lot. As you can see, they're turning a wonderful color right here, and we're turning and moving around a little bit more. Then we'll be putting it in our stroganoff along with some grilled onions too, and a little lemon. Mushrooms are all done and ready for our stroganoff. And adding a little lemon zest and a little lemon juice in with the stroganoff also. It will add a little citrus taste to it, and oh, does it taste good. One medium onion in a fry pan with a half a stick of butter, browning those up until they are a little toasty, and then we'll put that into our stroganoff too, and I'm going to pour a little lemon juice and a little bit of lemon zest in here too to give just a little more flavor to these onions and to the stroganoff. Lemon juice and the lemon zest has been put in here now, and we're going to stir these onions up and get them nice and toasty for the stroganoff. After about 5 minutes, the onions will look like this, and I pretty well think they're done. What do you think? Well, let's get everything put together and show you the finished product. And here is the finished stroganoff. Yummy, yummy for my tummy. There's not a lot of meat in here. If I was going to make this from scratch, I probably would have used more meat. But since we were trying to use leftover roast, we did the best we can. But we put a lot of great mushrooms in here. So that means that these mushrooms will add a lot of flavor. And of course, the onions and the lemon and the lemon zest really adds just that extra little bit of savoriness. Well, let's give it a try and see how it tastes. Got a little spoonful. So good. We got a little bit of everything in that spoon. Those mushrooms just added the extra thing it needed, along with the onions and that little bit of lemon. So good. Love it. Give it a try. And it's just, even though I had not a lot of meat, there's still meat in here. And plus the mushrooms are just so, so good. I think truthfully, if you don't want to eat meat, you could eat this same dish with no meat at all and just have mushrooms, and it would still be great. Well, thank you so much for stopping by to see the roast that I put together and the stroganoff for the leftovers. And on Wednesday, we're going to have another menu shared with some more of the leftovers from that same roast. You can stretch it out. This stroganoff is enough to feed 8 servings, and so that was not bad. And we had 4 servings off of the roast, and our hash we're going to make on Wednesday, we'll probably make another 4 servings. So off of that one roast, we had 16 different servings and 3 dishes. I think we did pretty good. What do you think? And I also had my son and his wife over for the roast, and for the hash, my grandson, his wife, and their son came over. So we did pretty good about making sure everybody got their tummies full.